Hi there, and welcome to the Carpe Diem Conversation Show, where we have conversations with real people who share their real life stories about getting more out of life by integrating work and life as one. My name's Andy Willis. I'm the host of this lovely show. Welcome to everybody that joins us every week and anyone that's here for the first time. First up, a little bit of housekeeping, because we've found a few little issues that we've had over the past couple of shows. First is, if you're watching this show from one of the posts that I shared, make sure you click on the actual movie, or the image, so it brings you to the Facebook Live commenting. Because what's happened in the past, some people have been watching, they've been adding comments, but they've been adding comments to the post and it doesn't show up in the show. So just make sure you can see the Facebook Live comments there, which are a little bit different to the standard comments. As always, reminder that it is a conversation, and a conversation is so much better when it's a group conversation. So you are absolutely encouraged to join the conversation, and you do that by adding comments, and don't wait right to the end of the show. Add them throughout the show, because as I remind you each week, there's a bit of lag with Facebook. So add your comments as you go. We'll either address them or get Jackie to answer them throughout the show, or answer them at the end of the show. So let's get on. I'm really excited about today's special guest, although I'm excited about the guest every single week. But this week's guest is actually my book coach. Her name is Jaqui Lane, and Jackie is a corporate storyteller and the book advisor. She helps business consultants, directors, owners write, self-publish and market their book. Her current challenge is guiding me through this process, and that is a challenge, so she has got to be good. Jackie has actually written 19 business books. She's published over 400 books and interviewed over 800 of Australia's leading business people, politicians, senior government regulators over 30 years. Wow. And if you want to know anything about writing, publishing or marketing a business book, Jackie is definitely your lady. And I hope so, because I need all the help I can get. Okay, Jackie did have a traditional bricks and mortar business, but she's now moved to a full online coaching business. Jackie's biggest challenge, and I quote, has been getting my head around technology and the cloud. It's not something that stops sunlight or brings rain. So there you go. Without further ado, let's bring Jackie into the studio. Oh, and by the way, before we do that, please, to test these comments, please say hello. And Jenny has already said hello. Let's bring Jackie into the studio. Hey, Jackie,
Okay.
how you going?
I'm very well, thank you. Down in sunny Melbourne at the moment.
Sunny Melbourne. Now, you don't reside in Melbourne, so what are you doing down in sunny Melbourne? You must be in one of those lucky days that it's sunny Melbourne, because we all know Melbourne has many seasons.
Yes, that's true. Well, and it wasn't sunny this morning, and it was quite cold. It was quite cold yesterday, but I got out of Sydney smoke. So I'm usually based in Sydney, and I was down here today to attend the Australian Computer Society annual conference called Reimagination, which is actually all about technology, AI, and the cloud. And so I've learned a lot more than I did at the beginning of the day.
Fantastic, because you love technology, I know.
Yeah, just my favourite thing in the world. Not.
But you're not there to use technology. You're there to actually record the speeches.
Yes, and I've been commissioned by the Australian Computer Society to write up all the conference speakers. So I've been listening to their speeches and then actually interviewing some of them afterwards. So which is what I love to do. It's capturing their stories. That's great.
Okay, well, your story. Before we have a chat about what you're doing right now, as well as being in Melbourne and how you run your current business, I'd love you to share your story, because you're not doing right now what you've always done in the past. So
no, I have
back to then and now.
Yeah, come from New Zealand if you haven't already picked that up. And I had a passion to go into politics, so I did a master's degree in Russian politics unbelievably useful. And it was being groomed to take over quite a safe seat in New Zealand politics, and thought that I really, hadn't really left the country at all in my entire life. So I got offered a 3-year project in Sydney to research and write a book on Australian entrepreneurship, and that was 30 odd years ago. So I came over here, didn't know anyone here, and undertook that project, and never went back to New Zealand. So I ended up just staying here. So Sydney is now my home, sort of. Yeah.
And so that's where you started off your career. And then you went into a business?
So yes. So that book was commissioned by the Australian Stock Exchange. And so when I got to the end of writing it, having interviewed like 300-400 entrepreneurs and business people, I thought, and a lot of them had asked me to help them write their books. And I thought, that's interesting. There's either somebody doing it and they're doing it really badly, or there's nobody doing that. So, in fact, one of the business people that I interviewed asked me what I was going to do after I'd finished the project. And I said, I don't know. I've got this idea that I'll start this business publishing company, but I don't know anything about business or anything about publishing. He said, that's okay. I can help with that. So he and I formed a company called Focus Publishing, and we ran and operated that for 24 years. So I had a very senior business partner, experienced business partner for that period of time. He passed away with kidney failure, and then the GFC happened, and after 24 years, I didn't have a bricks and mortar business anymore.
24 years you had that business for?
Yep.
Wow. And it was a reasonably sized business, of course?
Oh, yeah. So in 2008, I was employing 30 people, turning over $5 million.
Wow. And then the GFC happened.
Then the GFC happened, and publishing changed radically, and really fast. I had to save what I could out of that and extricate myself out of that. And that was as I say to people, it's a learning experience, and it's not one that I would recommend anyone go through. But it was actually really, seminal for me, because it forced me to reevaluate what I wanted to do in life and how I wanted to do it. So really initially after that, I thought, I don't want to run a business anymore. I actually want to go back into researching and writing. So even today, I spend half my time researching and writing corporate histories and corporate stories for companies. So instead of publishing, I've gone back to kind of my core love. Anywhere in, big ASX listed companies to private family businesses, I'll pretty much write any story as long as it's not fictional. So I did that. And then about 3 years ago, I had this really wacky idea. I'm good at those, thinking I'd like to build an online business, mentoring business people on how to write and publish their book. But I've got no idea about online. I've got no idea what to do, but that's okay. I'll do that. So that's about 3 years ago, I started the Book Advisor, and it's a online business, and I've got 3 virtual staff, and I run it through my computer wherever I am in the world. Yeah.
So bottom line there is you had to change, and because not only was it the pressure of the GFC, but also publishing was changing. So
radically.
You can't keep doing the same thing if things are changing. So you had to change, and it would be fair to say that you changed to something that was totally outside your comfort zone, because you're a self-confessed Luddite.
Absolutely. Well, not anymore, but I was. Yes.
Yeah. And so but that was the decision you made, and you went that way. You learned, and I know a lot of people that aren't comfortable with technology, they get overwhelmed by it. But I think from some of the time we've spoken, you've learned as much as you need to know to get by, and then you get other people to help you. And I think that's really important, to not be afraid of it, and to just use it.
And I'm a great believer in finding people, the best people I can find to mentor me and train me and my team. And So, I've been trained in Infusionsoft. Oh my God. Called Confusionsoft, which is a CRM system, and I mean, I went through all the training. I don't ever want to have to do it, but I needed to understand it, because when I started the Book Advisor, I didn't even know what a sales funnel was. I thought a funnel was something I used in the kitchen. So I really had no idea about the online thing as sales funnels and click funnels, and I had no idea at all. And I wanted to build an online business and market it online. So I just sought the best help I could find and spent agonizing time and money learning, so that I didn't want to actually physically do it myself, but I needed to understand it.
Yeah, and that's important. Jenny's saying welcome and we go. Oh no, we're
I'm
back.
here.
Yeah. Importantly, that's important to actually get people to help you with the things that you're not good at, rather than wasting your time. Getting mentors and getting people to help you through that is a very key thing to do. And a lot of people don't do that. They struggle through. They think they're saving money when they're actually not. They're actually using all their time, which is very expensive, and it's stopping them from really doing the things that are important. So that's a really, really good point.
And I'm not a technology person. I don't ever want to be a technology person. I just needed to understand it enough to understand how I could use it and the options for me. And then I was always going to get someone else to deliver it. But I needed to learn about online sales. And I use LinkedIn. And so I had a particular channel that I wanted to develop. But even researching that and understanding that, and then building an online course. I'd never done that before either.
Yeah. So on technology, your statement was you were challenged by technology, and your last statement there was it's not something that stops sunlight or brings rain. Please explain.
So I've been very slow to the cloud. I heard about the cloud. I didn't really know what it was. And I was really scared of it. I thought, what, because I'm used to having a hard drive and, all of that stuff, and, being very protective of all my information. So the concept around not having a physical backup, and in fact, I still do. I have to tell you, I still physically back up because I just still have that fear that something's going to happen to the cloud. What happens if the world explodes? So I'm really late to Google Docs, and now I run my business through Google Docs and Google and all of that, and I'm still learning all the capability of that. So that I had a really big fear factor about going, virtual. And I have a virtual team. I mean, they're real people, but they're all over the world. We collaborate through Google. I couldn't have my business unless I operated out of the cloud. But that took me a couple of years after I'd even gone online to feel comfortable about not running it off my laptop and my hard drive.
But you're still a bit nervous, but nowhere near as much as you were. So you think a cloud should be? I'm trying to work out this statement. The cloud should be something that stops sunlight or brings rain, and because the cloud that we're talking about doesn't do that, it concerns you. Is that the bottom line for that one?
Well, I couldn't get my head around where the stuff was stored.
Okay, yeah, because it really isn't up in one of those.
It's really not in the cloud.
Yeah, it's actually in a physical device at a physical location.
Correct.
To let everyone know, it's in not just one location; it's in two locations. So if something happens here, it's backed up there. You feeling more comfortable yet?
Yeah. Look, I'm more comfortable. I kind of get it, and as a writer and someone who bangs on about communicating. I think the cloud's actually a really bad description, because clouds are white and fluffy and they're porous and they, float past, and all the analogies you can think about a cloud are not, in fact, what it does.
Okay, well, I'll see if I can get hold of Mr. Google and
would you mind?
Change the name. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with it now, but it was a real thing for me to get around. I didn't feel secure.
Okay, well, just message me the name that you'd like to be called, and we'll see what we can do.
Okay.
All right, so
concrete bunker, maybe that would be good.
That's sellable. So, in amongst all of that, what difference has this really made to your life? This new, or tell us a bit about how you work now compared to how you used to work before, in the bricks and mortar, compared to this online world.
So before, I had an office with 30 staff in it, all the overheads with that, all the management, all the normal stuff with the business, bricks and mortar business. And now I have an office at home. And I also work out of a shared workspace in the city in Sydney, which is not WeWork. And that the company I'm with also has an office in Melbourne. So I have a physical place to go to when I do meet people, and I often do, because I don't want them coming home, and they probably don't want to come to my home either. And I run my team of virtual. Of my team members, who are all contract part-time, and that includes my executive support, my PA, my marketing, sales, graphic designers, editors, proofreaders, everybody that I need in every part of my business for both myself and my clients are all a virtual team, and we're all connected via Google, and we all work off a platform called Asana to run projects. So, and if you told me 3 years ago that I was going to build an online business and have a virtual team, I would have laughed at you. I just would have said, there's no way I want to do that, or I could do it. And now I'm doing it. And
compared to your previous business, what you have done in that is lessened the risk substantially.
Hugely.
Yeah.
So I have a very sweet, I used to talk about how much does it cost to put the key in the door every month. I've gone from hundreds of thousands to, 1,000, I've just the whole nature of the structure of the business is different. The model, the profitability, everything about how I run a business now is completely different.
And what difference has that made to Jaqui Lane's life overall?
Way less stressed. I'm way less stressed. I've got all the issues of being, I'm a contractor, so I've got but I'd have those issues whatever business I had really. But way less stressed. Running a business that's turning over 5 million people, there's lots of people, there's lots of issues. I don't really have any of those issues anymore. I've still got a team, and I work very hard with my team. We catch up on Zoom once a fortnight as a team, so I'm still managing people, but radically differently. So way less levels of stress, and I can work from anywhere, and I do. And so I work wherever I am, and if I don't want to work, I don't work. And also I have clients all over the world. So that's the other thing, is that I've got my book advisor clients are all over the world: Saudi Arabia, Texas, France, Germany. So I would never have been able to do that in my previous business, and all of that's through online.
Yeah, and one of the points you bring up there, which is something I bang on about all the time, it's not just about you can work from anywhere, but you choose when you work as well. It's taking control of that. And I know you like to hike. You've recently been over to New Zealand and gone hiking over there because you can, and you choose not to work at that time. The other really exciting thing is yesterday you booked in
I
for
did.
the French Alps for the Carpe Diem retreat.
I
So
went sure did.
you and your good friend Ellen are coming to
Yep.
join us in the French Alps to
Absolutely.
work from anywhere there, to network with some other business owners, to learn a few more skills around integrating work and life as one. Most importantly, we're going to go hiking and e-biking and drinking French wine, cheese, local markets, do a whole lot of other fun stuff. So I was really excited to see your registration come in. We've only got 2 spots left now, which is really good.
And I think on that, Andy, one of the things I decided, when I was developing the book advisor, and I still do my writing, is that one of my goals was that from 2020, I wanted to be able to go away for 6 weeks to 2 months every year and go and live somewhere and work most of that time, but just go and live somewhere else and work. And some of that time I'll take off and do some hikes or whatever, but to be able to just pick up and go somewhere for 6 weeks to 2 months every year. And so next year, when I'm coming over to you, I'll be taking another 4 weeks or so off to go and stay with a friend of mine in France. And I might take a little bit more time off or not. And I will be running my business when I'm doing it. And there will be periods of 4 or 5 days where I don't even look at it, but it'll still run. So I think for me at my age, that was a goal that I did want to be able to go and park myself somewhere more often. And so I can do that. Now I've got this set up, I can do that.
And that is absolutely music to my ears, because that's what this is all about. This is the conversation I have with the people on the program. It's not about necessarily traveling the world, but doing exactly what I do. I spend, as you know, 3 months in the French Alps every year. And it's not a holiday, it's not work, it's just living. But I plonk myself there and become part of the community. Yeah. And I've got friends there, and you have to be there. It's just an amazing thing to do. And I know we had a chat, and you're actually going to stay with a friend of yours, but also someone so after the retreat, you're going to stay with a friend of yours that's your editor, is that right?
She actually does the editing for me and most of my clients, and all proofreading. So and she lives in a lovely place. We worked this out just below the Pyrenees, I think, somewhere in there. Yeah, I suggested to her they might come and stay with her for a bit, and and I said, look, I'm not going there to kind of party. I actually just want to work, but I just want to be there, and so I'm going to go and stay with her for 3 or 4 weeks.
And work alongside your one of your team, basically.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, you did share with me a photo of the house that you'll be staying in with her. Let's see if we can get that up.
Yeah.
We can try and do that. Oh, here it is. Hopefully people can see that. So that's the little villa that you're staying in for a few weeks and
my room is the room on the top far left.
Oh, lovely. There you go. That looks a reasonably nice place to hang out for 3 or 4 weeks to work from anywhere. Well done.
Yeah.
All right. So challenges, we've talked about challenges. What advice would you have for other people out there in business, in life in general, that are maybe contemplating not putting off things until later?
Look, I think for me, I'm a person of a certain age, is to just get over your fear of technology, and to just get into it, understand that it's a journey that when you first start, you won't even know half the descriptions of what someone's talking to you about. But just get into it, you will learn it, and it will become clear. It's like learning anything. And don't put it off, because it's here. It's going to be more ubiquitous. And if you're not embracing it, you will be left behind. Your business will be left behind, and you will be left behind in a bricks and mortar business, and you'll be tied to it, and you'll never get out of it.
Yeah, too right. And Jenny agrees. Integrating work and life as one. Perfect. Yeah. Wow. So if anyone out there has some questions that they'd like to ask Jaqui, now is a really good time to actually ask any questions. While we're waiting for questions, I'm going to share something which I'm really excited about for next week. Next week, we don't have a special guest. We may be. It might be Santa Claus, though, because next week is the inaugural Carpe Diem Conversation virtual Christmas party. It's BYO adult beverages.
Yeah.
It's online. It's be held like this. I'll be inviting people from the audience to come and join us in the studio, but that's okay. Don't be frightened about that. The good thing is you don't have to drive home. You can just party and flop into bed. So please, I will share. Actually, I will share in the comments when I find it. I've got a link to, I've got it set up as a Facebook event, and I'll just share that in the comments in case people are out there watching and want to join us. Let me see if this works. There you go. Hopefully people can see that. Click on that link. Yeah, I think it'll work. Anyway, go to that, join the event. Join us next week. It'll be at the same time in the same place, but you can join from wherever you are on whatever device. Make sure you bring your adult beverages, and yeah, that should be fun. You're going to join us, Jaqui, if you're around?
When is it?
It's same time, same place, this time next week.
If I'm not, if I don't have my diary up, and I'm too scared to play around with it in case I disconnect myself.
Yeah, okay.
If I don't have an event on, yes, I will definitely be here.
You can join from anywhere. You can even join from an event somewhere, just sneak out, or if you're at a party somewhere, yeah, bring some other people on board.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. All right. I think we've come to an end. No one's got any questions this week. You must have shared enough great advice that they're not going to ask questions, but that's okay. If you do have any questions afterwards, add them in the comments and we can get to them. Until then, thank you so much, Jaqui, for sharing your story.
Absolute pleasure, and thank you for all your encouragement. Yeah, to not think of the cloud as white fluffy things.
I'm really.
Although that's what the cloud does.
We can have. Yeah, that's exactly what it does. Yeah, anyway, that's it. Let's
cheers.
Sign off. I'm going to see if I can.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
All right, see you.
Bye.
Yes, you stay on, and we'll have a chat. I'll just hit this this one here, and that will get rid of us.